Now let me see if it's happening. Setting up your
yes,
meeting for
it's
Facebook Live. It says
Okay.
we're being set up at the moment, and I should get a notice on my phone. Right, I think we're live now, Anne-Marie, although I can't actually see you.
Okay, I can see you.
I've completely lost you.
It says meeting is live streaming now. So
Okay, so we are live because I can actually see it on my phone. So
Okay.
just bear with me to see if I can go back onto Zoom. No, I think oh God, where am I? I think what I'm going to have to do, Anne-Marie, is I'm going to have to look at it on my phone, okay?
No,
so
that's
I can
fine.
see that we're live. Hi, everybody joining us. I'm slightly struggling because although I can see this on my phone, I can't actually see Anne-Marie at the moment. But anyway, welcome to Meet the Artichoke Girls, Anne-Marie, who is my cousin, or are you? I mean, how are we related?
Apparently we're second cousins. That's what I actually understand about it, Sarah, anyway.
Oh, well, I found you again. I found you on the computer, so that's cool. So I can wait. Are you sure? Because your mum is my cousin. We come from a very large Irish Catholic family, don't we?
We do indeed, yes. To be sure.
To be sure. There are hundreds of us. So Anne-Marie's mum is my first cousin, which means my dad was her mother's uncle. Yep. Which means that my father was a great uncle before he was a father, because Anne-Marie's brother Chris is 6 months older than I.
I hadn't realised that. Yeah, I knew he was my great uncle, but I hadn't realised that he was an great uncle before he was your father. So
yes,
amazing. There you go.
Anne-Marie is my cousin. We've known each other forever. We used to spend a lot of time together as kids. And we were bad buggers together in our 20s, but we're not talking about that.
Sarah. All in the past. No confessions, as I tell my members. No confessions. Whether it be
we're not confessing. No, we're
not. Good. Leave it there.
So Anne-Marie's here today to actually talk about how to lose lockdown pounds and Christmas pounds. But before we move into that, we're just going to have a few quickfire questions just to warm her up a little, and so that you can find out a little bit about her before we start talking about Slimming World, as Anne-Marie is a Slimming World consultant. So Anne-Marie, what is your favourite colour?
Very difficult question, I have to say, because I love all colours. But I suppose, gosh, probably gold.
And why is that gold? Is it bling? Your inner Essex?
Don't know. No, I just think it's the most warming, lovely colour. Yeah. I like
that. Is such a surprise. I've never ever heard anybody say their favourite colour was gold before.
There you go.
And are you a city or a country girl?
Definitely a country girl now, yes.
A born again? Or relocated?
A relocated, indeed.
A relocated country girl. And what is your favourite song?
Oh, good grief. Sarah, that is so hard. Do you know what? It's hilarious, but the first song that came to my head was Happy Birthday. I guess I like birthdays.
So you love gold. Happy birthday.
You can see where this is heading, can't you?
I told you, ladies, this was going to be a lot of fun. What 3 things do you always have in your handbag?
Oh, Lord. Oh, well, bank card, yes. Lipstick and a face mask at the moment, sadly.
Oh, no, that is so boring, isn't it? Yeah. So forget the face mask. What else would you have in there?
Oh, God. I mean, at the moment, I've got a rucksack as well. I mean, is that just so not Sarah?
Why? Why?
It holds more.
You can have a very large, lovely handbag.
It's an eco-friendly rucksack.
Oh,
about
God,
that?
go away. I'm not talking to you anymore.
With puffins on it.
Oh, no.
Yep. Bought from the Isle of Skye. There you
Right,
go.
moving on swiftly from your
I
handbag.
wish you hadn't asked now, don't you? Fashion disaster. Yep.
At the
Question.
moment, my favourite podcast is My Wardrobe Mal. I don't know, ladies, if you have listened to this, but it's absolutely brilliant. It's being recorded by the wonderful Susanna Constantine, who, of course, was the other half of Susanna and Trini. And what she's doing is talking to lots of famous people about their wardrobes and the effect they have on their lives. It's just a way, like this, the Vogue 73 questions of finding out a bit more about people and how they live. And that she always asks them at the end what their wardrobe malfunction is. So like I still these days come out of loos with my skirt and my knickers. So Anne-Marie, what is your wardrobe malfunction?
Okay, so is it a wardrobe malfunction? I was just, when you, yes, I think the thing that I remember, the worst episode I had was, this is going back many years ago. I was in Hampstead on a date, and I was wearing a 1980s, or hello, we've got a bit of an echo. And I was wearing Okay, are we back?
Yeah, sorry about that. I hope I
That's
haven't.
all right.
I hope I haven't got rid of the live completely. I hope people can still see it. Oh, I hope I've just got rid of it on my phone. Just let me have a little look. You keep talking. Yeah, no, we're still live. I haven't buggered it up completely.
Okay, so it was a white dress with shoulder pads, and it was like a shirt dress. And I felt the bee's knees in this dress. And I went on this date. I was in Hampstead. And I was sitting with this chap who had a laugh like Brian Blessed. It was extremely loud, very loud. Anyway,
was this the date then?
This was a date. This was going back many years ago when I was about 17, I think. Anyway, I sat there at this table, and this, before the days of Slimming World, obviously, I sat there with this huge, like a chocolate Knickerbocker Glory, and it had a big spoon in the top. And I actually put the spoon in, and I accidentally flicked the spoon, and the spoon sort of hurtled towards me, and the whole of this chocolate sauce went all the way down the front of this white dress. Well, with this chap, with his laugh, he just bellowed out this laugh in the middle of this restaurant. And of course, everybody turned and looked at me with this brown sort of mark all the way down the front of my dress. And it got worse, actually, because then I thought, right, I'll go to the toilet and I'll sponge it off. So I went towards the toilets, fell down the step, went straight into the men's, came out, went into the ladies. By which time everybody in the restaurant had noticed what was going on. Absolutely mortified. So when I came out, pretty much my face was crimson and my dress was a disaster, basically. So I think that was probably my worst wardrobe moment. Yeah, not good.
Did you have another date with him?
Oh yes, he was a good friend, actually. He was a good friend.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yeah.
I'm trying to think who it was.
You and later, Sarah. Many years ago.
Right. Now, what can't you live without?
Oh gosh. Oh, that goes a bit deep, Sarah. I'm not sure I can do that.
Yeah, well, the next one's even deeper.
Oh no. Well, I'm going to say my dog.
Oh, that's a good answer. Now, this next question, when I asked my really good friend Ness, she said it was a very stupid question and she wasn't going to answer it. But as I know you've always been an apprentice witch, you'll bloody love it. So, Anne-Marie, what is your spirit animal?
Oh, Oh, wow.
You see, I knew you'd like it.
Well, it could be different things at different times, but I guess it's probably the wolf, which is considered to be the teacher.
Oh, is that true?
Mm.
I didn't realize the wolf was the teacher.
Mm.
We'll probably talk about more about this at the end of the interview. What we're going to do now, ladies, is we're going to move on to how to lose some pounds during lockdown. If you've got any questions for Anne-Marie, I just go, oh my God, I've done it again. I am going to try and work out. Oh, I know what I got to do. I've got to turn my sound down. Then it doesn't matter, does it? I've turned the sound down on my
Well
phone.
done. Okay, cool.
So now, ladies, if you have any questions, I can read them. Oh my God, there's loads of people already. Somebody said snap with the Catholic Irish collection. Oh, we've got some wardrobe mals here as well, but we'll go on to those later. So ladies, if you've got any questions for Anne-Marie, now I've turned the sound down, you can comment and then I will ask her as we go along. Have you always struggled with your weight is my first question.
No.
I knew
I
that.
haven't.
Because
No,
we both used to eat and drink what we wanted, didn't we? And we were stick thin.
Yes. I guess my weight didn't start to be a problem until I sort of hit, well, I don't want to give away too much about my age, but it's probably fairly obvious anyway. But well, after I hit sort of mid-40s, I suppose, went through a bit of a divorce. No, not a bit of a divorce, a proper divorce actually, and then started a comfy, having sort of moved from a wardrobe to a shoebox. And I think I then decided I'd fill the shoebox with me, and I got bigger and bigger. So I think I probably put on about 2 stone in total.
Oh my God.
Yes, so quite a difference really from where I was, because I was always like a size 10 to 12. At one point I was like a size 8 actually. And then I sort of mushroomed into a size 16 to 18. So I then decided it was time to do something about it. I met the love of my life and we were going to get married, found the dress, which was a size 10, and decided I had to get into it. So people around me at school where I was teaching were losing weight and it was dropping off them. And I thought, oh my God, it was like literally within a week they'd shrunk. And I said, how are you doing that? And they said, oh, well, we're going to Slimming World. So I thought, right, that's it. I've got to sign up. So that was the start of my Slimming World journey.
Right. So you've just answered my second question.
Oh,
so you didn't put on weight when we had kids, did you? Because I just went from when I gave up my diet of fags, coffee and gin. When I had George, I went up from a size 10 to 12 to an 18. And I can remember going to Weight Watchers with my friend Liz Spillane. Once we'd had all of our children, and we used to do it on 6-month cycles. We used to chain smoke for 6 months and do Weight Watchers. So we weren't hungry. And then after that, we would stop smoking and put the weight on, and so it would go again. But probably once I got back down to 12, I stayed that way until my early 50s. And I think a lot of what I've been blaming on, not the menopause, because I had a very early menopause, but basically getting older, it's got bugger all to do with being old. It's just me eating too much and not getting enough exercise. Would you not agree?
Well, I think sometimes we can eat for all sorts of reasons, and we can put on weight for all sorts of reasons. There can be emotional reasons. There can be differences in whatever's going on in life. And obviously, if we're having a sedentary lifestyle and we're eating the wrong sorts of foods, you know, what we put on is going to go on to, you know, a minute on the lips is a lifetime on the hips, as they say. But that's a bit of an exaggeration. But, you know, the thing about Slimming World that I found was I never had to be hungry. And that was the difference between that and Weight Watchers, which I did try at one point, because I was starving the whole time. I hated it because I was so hungry. It was a diet, but with Slimming World, you don't have to be hungry. So that is the best thing about it, I find.
So what you obviously did Slimming World to get into your wedding dress. What then made you decide to become a Slimming World consultant then? Because that's a bit of a step.
Yes. Well, to be honest with you, I'd gone back into teaching after 20 years, and it was a bit of a shock. It was a major shock, actually, because things had moved on in 20 years, surprise, surprise, particularly with technology. And I was working with special needs children. And to be honest, I got to the point where I got a little bit fed up with being bashed physically. And as you do. And I decided maybe there was something slightly easier that I could do with my life. And having sort of really been inspired by watching people losing weight and realizing I could make a difference with that, I thought, I think that's, you know, this would be something really good to do. So I'd already trained as a counsellor and done other things that were sort of related. And I thought, actually, I think this might be something I'd really enjoy. So I then took the plunge to do the training.
Donna's just asked, did you get into the wedding dress? It would be great if you could post a photo in Artichoke Girls of you in the dress, because you look beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
Did. And she looked lovely, everybody. So you said before you were so rudely interrupted by me, that Slimming World is not a diet. So if it's not a diet, what is it?
I would say it's a change in lifestyle, because it is for life. Whereas a diet is something that you do, and then when you get to the weight that you desire, you give up. Basically, with Slimming World, you're doing it for life. You know, you're changing the way that you cook, you eat, and you shop. And it's something that once you've cracked it, you can literally keep the weight off for life. So that, I think, is the difference. It's not about a yo-yo sort of, you know, crash diet that sort of gets the weight off, and then, as you say, you have six months of smoking, you go back on it.
I must say that I found it really, really easy. And I'm not losing pounds, because, as we discussed when I first joined, we don't have a functioning pair of scales in our household, and they're quite difficult to get in lockdown. So I think we have got them. I just can't make them work. So I'm losing inches, and I can't think how long I've been doing it, a couple of months, and I've lost 3 inches. I was horrified when I read the blurb that to be healthy, and I wasn't overweight when I started doing this. I just was told to lose half a stone to get my cholesterol down, because we all die of heart attacks in our family, as you know. And on my mother's side, they all die of heart attacks as well. So I was told to lose half a stone. And when I was reading through the information that you get from Slimming World, which is brilliant, it said that to be healthy, your waist should be 32 inches or under. Mine was 36. So I've lost 3 inches.
Which is brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
And also, once I've got my head around it, as you said, I'm not really dieting.
Yeah. It is just about making some small changes, really. It is about healthy eating. Definitely. And the brilliant thing is that you can have things that, you know, you'd think you wouldn't be able to have on a diet. Like, you can have potatoes, you can have pasta. And there's
fudge.
Fudge, bless. No food is banned. You have to bring in those things called sins, spelled SYNS, before anybody starts saying they feel guilty or, you know, goes into confessions or anything. So, you know, the wonderful thing is something called free food, which you don't have to weigh, measure or count. And that's the brilliant thing about it. That's unlimited. You can have as many potatoes, pasta, as much meat and fish as you want, as many vegetables and fruit as you like. Obviously, you're eating till you're full, not until you're bursting. So you eat till you're feeling satisfied. But that's the beauty of it. So you don't feel hungry. There's nothing
I found
cut out.
actually, having done it for a couple of months, I don't even have to plan my meals. As long as I stick to having no sins before supper, I'm fine. And that's quite easy to do. I'm finding it easy to do. Then I don't have to actually worry too much about anything else, because I know I've got 15 to spare and we eat relatively healthily anyway.
Yeah.
So it is a doddle. You are right.
It is 3 easy steps.
And part of what we have to do is food optimization. So what is food optimization then?
Okay, so food optimizing is it's the 3 easy steps I've just mentioned, which is number 1 is your free food, which doesn't need to be weighed and measured or counted. Number 2 is something called healthy extras, which you do have to weigh and measure. So that's your milk and cheese or your milk and cheese substitutes. And number 3 is the sins, which everybody's heard of, even people who've never done Slimming World before have heard of the sins, and they have to be counted. And you normally get between 5 and 15 per day. So basically, if you just stick to that easy plan, 1, 2, 3, that's it. That's all there is to it. It's not complicated at all. As you've said, it's easy.
Yeah, I mean, I can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. So ladies, if you've got any questions, remember to ask, because I'm going through. Is sleep a factor, do you think? I know a lot of people talk about sleep, and if you don't get enough sleep, for some reason, your body goes into panic mode.
I think it can be. Sleep can be an issue. And certainly there was an article, I'd have to look it up, to be honest with you, from Slimming World about sleep. I think sometimes people, if they're not sleeping, then their rhythms are a little bit upset, and they can end up sort of trying to make up for that lack of energy by eating perhaps a lot of carbohydrates, or they might feel hungrier than normal. So yes, it can play a factor, definitely. Also,
and booze.
And booze, yeah, very much so, because you're safe. They give you a safe tipple plan, which is really important for me, I have to say, because I do like my wine. So so that is about actually knowing how many sins you've got in, say, because alcohol is one of the things that often brings people through the door, and it makes me giggle sometimes in group, because I think we sound like an AA group.
You do. I'm appalled.
Instead of a food optimizing Slimming World group sometimes. But it's about making some swaps and things like that. So having sugar-free drinks and swapping things like wine for gin, although I don't advocate sort of alcoholism at all, but that's got less sins than a glass of wine, things like that.
Which has probably answered Maggie's question, who's answering, is alcohol a sin? It is. The trick is, Maggie, is you need to find the alcohol that's the lowest sin, and then you can drink more.
No, I'm not going to advocate that. I got told off once for that,
And then Geraldine's saying, since the beginning of January, she's got olive, celery, carrot sticks for nibbles instead of biscuits. We can see your halo from here.
Sounds good to me. You would need to sin your olives, actually.
Yes,
they do
would
carry
actually.
sin.
Yeah, and avocado.
Yeah, avocados are very high in sins. They can be, I think it's something like 23 sins for a largish avocado. So you get 15 in a day. So it gives you some idea. But they're what we call savvy sins. So once you've got to your target weight and you've lost all your weight, what you can do is you can up your level of sins. And you can introduce things like a little bit of oil, having things like avocados in your diet, maybe having a little bit of dressing on your salad, that sort of thing. But those are the things that you'd probably be swapping when you're actually trying to lose your weight whilst you're on the plan.
Oh, Geraldine's saying, trying hard. Well, you're doing really well if you're not eating biscuits. It's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant that she's swapped. That making those healthy swaps is fantastic. That's a really good thing. So yeah, she's doing brilliantly. Can't see her, sadly, but I'll just tell you.
You'll be able to see her afterwards. Donna's told us why we eat when we're drunk, I think, but I can't really read it, and I don't want to risk turning the sound back on again.
I'll tell you why you drink. What happens after you have been drinking a lot, or you've drunk the night before, you tend to double the number of calories you have the next day. So your body sort of wants to actually replace some of those calories, and also you become dehydrated as well, which sometimes when you're dehydrated you feel more hungry. So it's about also staying hydrated. So it's recommended you have between 6 and 8 glasses of water a day, but if you've obviously had alcohol the night before, you might be wanting a bit more than that.
So at the moment, we can't actually go to Fat Club, and I know I shouldn't call it Fat Club, but we can't go to it in real life. What we've got to do is we're doing it virtually, and
That's
I'm
right.
doing it with you virtually.
Mm-hmm.
So if the ladies are interested in getting involved, doing it virtually for, I think, at least 6 weeks, a minimum, this is going to happen, isn't it? Until we
I
come
would
out of
think so.
lockdown,
Yeah.
we do it all virtually. Perhaps you could run through, Anne-Marie, if they should, do you want to put a link to your Facebook page, or do you want to put your number up, or do you want them, how should they get in contact with you, and what will happen if they join virtually?
Okay, so if I leave you my number, because I'm not totally technically very savvy.
Do you mind if
But
I bung it in Artichoke Girls, which is where so it's a private group?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. And they can hand my mobile number out to anybody who's interested in joining.
Okay.
That's not a problem.
Right.
Also, I'll put on there my email address, or you can if you don't mind.
Yeah.
And people could always email me as well. If they text me, because my phone is an absolute whatnot, and tends to go straight to voicemail if you phone.
Right.
So please don't be put off by that. I'll either get back to you, or you can text me and I'll get back to you that way. Okay, but please don't be put off if it goes straight to voicemail. It's something I've never been able to correct, unfortunately.
Okay, so ladies, what we'll do is when we share this post on Artichoke Girls, which I know most of you belong to, and if you don't, this would be a very good reason to join our group, then we're going to put up Anne-Marie's email address, and I'll put a link to her Facebook group, and also we'll put her phone number. Geraldine is asking, is coconut milk better than milk? Don't ask my husband that question.
You can have either. It's about the amount that you can have. Let me just have a quick look, because this is something I might need to just check on, actually, because coconut milk has got quite a lot of fat in it.
And you can go for fat-free milk, can't you, which is you can have oodles of.
Yes, I mean, actually, in terms, it's not on one of the healthy extras, so it would be Sind. So
in that case, no, it's not, is it?
No, it's in a way, if you're going to choose your healthy extras, which you don't need to sort of worry about, you just need to weigh them, you'd be better off. You can have things like goat's milk or rice drink or almond if you didn't want cow's milk. There are other things, lactose-free milk. But yeah, coconut milk has got quite a lot of fat in it, actually.
And Sandra's saying, does that mean a Slimming World diet is very different from a Mediterranean diet, which uses a lot of oil, avocado, etc.?
Yes, it is. It certainly is. To start with, certainly, whilst you're actually trying to lose weight, you are cutting out and cutting down on those fats. And we know that, you need a certain amount of good fats in your diet. So that's why you've got your milk and cheese there, and you've got your healthy extra B choice, which can include nuts and things like that. So it's not a problem. If you want to include oil, you can. You just need to include it in your sins. So if you wanted a tablespoon of olive oil in something, absolutely fine. You just need to take it out of your sins.
And that's what I do, actually. So
Yeah.
I would say at home, I mean, I'm not sure where the Mediterranean begins and ends now, because apparently Ottolenghi is part of a Mediterranean diet, and that's in Israel. I thought that was in the Middle East. Anyway, you can, as somebody, I mean, you'd be appalled. What I do is I have porridge with no milk in the morning over frozen fruit. For lunch, I have a bean and vegetable soup that I make myself, that I chuck either pasta or couscous in. So I've got to supper time. And I have fat-free yogurt and banana. So I've got to supper time with no sins. And if you do that, you can use olive oil. You know, I haven't had any, an avocado has not passed my lips, Sandra, unfortunately, but it will do when I get to Target Way. It really is easy. If you're strict at the beginning of the day with yourself, you don't have to worry too much, do you? It's easy peasy.
I would say to you is it really depends what you want to spend your sins on. I mean, there's a lovely breakfast with avocado in it that you can have in the mornings. If you wanted avocado, it's absolutely fine. But as you say, it depends. In the morning, if you decide I want to spend my sins on avocado, or I want to spend it on full fat yogurt, or I want to spend it on some nuts, or whatever it is you want to spend it on, that's okay. No food is banned. But obviously it is about sort of replacing the things that brought you in to Slimming World in the first place, things like chocolate, sweets, alcohol, those sorts of things that are considered unhealthy. Those are the things that we're looking to cut out or cut down on. But even then, you know, I have my green and blacks chocolate, little tiny mini bar for 5.5 cents. That gives me my chocolate kick, and I'm like, yeah, I've had it, you know, that's great. I can still have my chocolate. So, or I can have a glass of wine if I want it, you know, that's okay. So it's just about deciding what you're going to choose, you know, but it is about a healthier way of life, really.
Which is why it's so easy, because you can choose, you know, where and when you want to use these sins.
Yeah.
Oh, Donna's saying none of us will be eating avocados until the ports are sorted.
Good point, Donna.
Right, so we've worked out how we're going to sign up virtually. I know you find yourself in funny situations, because we had one when we were doing the Zoom meeting earlier this week. But perhaps you could tell the ladies who are watching of the funny situations that you find yourself in doing your job.
Well, trying to think of something, but this week, yeah, certainly there was one this week which I'd asked people to bring in store cupboard staples. Now, I guess this must be, perhaps it's a Derbyshire term, because that's where Slimming World first came from. But store cupboard staples basically means things that you get from your store cupboard in your kitchen or your larder. This is what I understood it to mean anyway, which is like Marmite or stock cubes. All of these are free, what we call free food, doesn't have to be weighed or measured. So I asked everybody to bring something along as an example so that we could sort of use it in group, chat about recipes and get some ideas going. And 3 people bought a staple gun. I was a little bit surprised.
Oh, goodness me. Yeah. Oh, hang on. Oh, no, we're okay. We're okay. That's okay. We haven't missed a question here. Right. So my final question, really, because I have a very good idea of what you're going to say, but I think the other ladies would be really, really interested in your other hobbies and interests.
Okay, so apart from doing my Slimming World job, I am a trained counsellor. And I do occasionally see clients. I have to say it's been a little bit quiet lately because Slimming World has sort of taken over a little bit. But the idea from the beginning was to have some time during the week that I could do my counselling and do some other therapies that I do, because I'm a complementary therapist. So I do something called Reiki, and I do a little bit of crystal healing and things like that. So yeah, very witchy, Sarah. So that is the other side. The other thing that might be of interest is what's called colour counselling, which isn't the colour counselling that some people might know about, which is to do with clothes and what suits your complexion. It's to do with actually counselling, but then using colours to actually help people and support them with healing. So you actually you get the person to choose colours, and then from that you can ask the right questions. And from that, you can actually discern what colours they need to get themselves back in balance. And that I find quite fascinating, actually.
I'd forgotten you did that, actually. I can remember when the children were small, you started doing that.
I haven't done it for a while.
The fact that you chose gold, what does that say to us, Anne?
No, I'm keeping that quiet.
Right. You know, Joey's just said you're a one-stop shop for holistic healing. You are. I mean, I can remember. I can remember also every time I came over, we used to chuck the kids in the garden, and I'd have a little sort of healing session. It was lovely. But they're grown up now, and once this is all over, I'll have to come over and have some Reiki again, because I haven't had any of that for years, and I used to really enjoy having it.
Doing also, I haven't been able to do it obviously, but massage and aromatherapy is the other thing that I'm qualified in. So, but at the moment, of course, we're all a bit hands off, so
Yes.
that's not quite so easy to do it.
Which is why I look like Quasimodo.
Keep
pushing the shoulder down. Anyway, darling, it's been lovely chatting to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Donna's just said, can we have some examples of what colours indicate?
Oh no, I don't think so, because it's a little bit complex actually, and it's not just sort of traditionally colours have different meanings, don't they? So blue that I'm wearing is to do with communication, right, and orange is often associated with joy and things like that. So there are those, but actually every colour has a sort of a positive and a negative associated with it. But it's also to do with the combinations of colours that people choose. So it is quite complex. It's not just this colour means this, if that makes sense.
So I wear black, so I should kill myself.
No, not at all.
What is black? Right, so thank you so much for joining us.
No, thank you, Sarah. Thanks very much for doing it.
What we're going to do is we're going to put all the details below. If you've got any questions for Anne-Marie, she will be checking into the Artichoke Facebook page to answer any afterwards. And now I've got to work out how to turn this off. So we're going to chat among ourselves. I'm going to end this, and then hopefully pushing the end button means that it will end. Fingers crossed. Bye bye, darling. Lovely to see you. See you soon.
Bye bye, everybody. Bye. Thank you for listening. Bye.